Welcome friends to this new video of Sapphire Talks English. In this video we shall discuss the dramatic reversal in fortunes for the Indian rupee seen on 2nd April 2026. Since the Iran war started on 28th February 2026 and till 23rd March 2026, the Indian rupee has seen a dramatic decrease in its value. We have made a separate video on this and we have explained how the Iran war and resultant uncertainties are impacting negatively the value of the Indian rupee. On 23rd March 2026, the Indian rupee in fact achieved a low point of 94 rupees per dollar. Since 23rd March 2026 till the beginning of 2nd April 2026, the Indian rupee continued its downward slide and had almost reached 95 rupees per dollar. The RBI did try to intervene in between by trying to buy Indian rupees so as to stem the downward trajectory of the value of the Indian rupee. However, the RBI was only partly successful in this endeavor. However, on 2nd April 2026, the RBI not only bought Indian rupees but it also introduced certain regulatory changes to curb the speculation in the Indian rupee. This has resulted in a dramatic increase in the value of Indian rupee by 2%, and the Indian rupee closed at 93 rupees 10 paise per dollar. This 2% increase in a single day's trading for the Indian rupee was the largest increase which has been seen since 2013. This was primarily on account of the intervention of the RBI, whereby it had successfully curbed the speculation that was going on with the Indian rupee. We shall discuss this in a more detail in the remaining part of the video. It's an established principle in economics that whenever there is economic uncertainty, money moves to safe haven investments. Now, safe haven investments are typically gold, precious metals, commodities, and the US dollar. There was a huge demand for US dollars. In fact, there is still a huge demand for US dollars on account of the uncertainty that is happening in the Middle East. What was happening in India was that many banks and large financial institutions were buying US dollars by selling Indian rupees within India. Friends, all of you are aware that India has got a large forex reserve. It also has surplus foreign exchange at any given point in time. So banks and large financial institutions were actually selling rupees and buying US dollars in India at a comparatively lower price, and they were selling those US dollars to various markets outside India. Now friends, let me first say that this is per se not illegal. If banks are not allowed to do this or they are not allowed to enter into foreign contracts, it will be impossible for banks to offer hedging services. Since banks and financial institutions are able to buy foreign exchange from all over the world and they can do this buying, selling and forward contracts, in fact they can offer hedging services and best prices for foreign exchange to their customers. But this was a special case whereby the Indian rupee was already under pressure because of the war in the Middle East, rising crude oil prices and resultant inflationary pressures. Now this was further aggravated by the fact that large financial institutions and banks were aggressively selling the Indian rupee to buy US dollars and selling the US dollar abroad. So to put a curb to all this, the Reserve Bank of India very suddenly and unexpectedly on 2nd April 2026 introduced certain measures whereby it stopped banks and financial institutions from entering into forward contracts, and whatever forward contracts had been entered into and were not closed, the Reserve Bank of India forced the banks and financial institutions to close those contracts right away. Earlier, the Reserve Bank had tried to rely simply upon buying Indian rupees and selling dollars so as to curb the downward slide of the Indian rupee, but this was not proving sufficient. It was only when the bank imposed restrictions on the speculation related to the Indian rupee was the slide in the price of the Indian rupee really arrested. So friends, we have a lot to thank the Reserve Bank of India for in this regard. If there is any further development on this matter, I will definitely come back to you on this. I am also from my side monitoring the rise and fall of the Indian rupee very closely for the benefit of all of us. If there is something important, I will definitely make a fresh video and get that video to you. Till then, I would like to bid you goodbye. Thank you very much for watching this video. If you have found this video interesting, please like this video. Please subscribe to our channel. Till the next video, I bid you goodbye. Jai Hind, Jai